We just were told that the furlough might be extended now to March. There's been a £150 billion stimulus package. One thing it'd be great to ask someone like you is, who pays for this? Because I think a lot of us are saying, oh, the government's paying for it. But
right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but over time, that's usually passed on to taxation to usually low and middle class earners. Is that right? Or am I looking at that wrong?
No. I think you're right. I think the costs of this will be paid some way down the road, probably in higher taxes, and somebody's going to pay the taxes. Of course, the lucky thing, if there is anything lucky about this pandemic, and it's hard to see anything positive about it, but at least it's come at a time when governments can borrow at extraordinarily low rates. It's truly amazing that the UK government, issuing bonds in the so-called index-linked bond market that you'll understand well, can borrow at a real cost, a real interest rate, for long periods, for 20, 30, 40 years, at substantially negative interest rates. So after you adjust for inflation, the UK government would pay you minus 2.5% every year if you bought a UK government bond for the next 10 or 20 odd years. Now, it's still the case, though, that the government is borrowing on such a scale that even with those very low interest rates, taxes are going to be higher at some point in the future. I think one might hope that when this thing is passed, that there's enough of an economic recovery and no big increase in interest rates, so the government can take its time in clawing back the extra tax revenue to generate the fiscal surpluses to pay off all the bonds it's issuing now. And I mean, historically, the UK government has managed to do that, at least on 3 occasions in the last couple of hundred years, after the First World War, after the Second World War, after the Napoleonic Wars. And after each of those wars, the stock of government debt in the UK was much higher than it's likely to be now. So, if you're being optimistic about the thing, you might say, well, look, we've been in this sort of situation and worse before. And over time, as long as you've got time as a government to sort of make good the damage, you may be able to do that without having to massively raise taxes in the near term. So I think the UK government is probably doing the right thing. After all those people who've been laid off and are not working at the moment do need some kind of support. And I think it is right, actually, to run a very large deficit right now and just hope that the financial markets then give you the time to gradually bring the debt back down over a period of many, many years rather than a few months.